everyone and good afternoon. Thank you for attending our curriculum night tonight. This is just an opportunity to break down health and physical education at a foundation level here at Blooming Minds. First of all, I'll start by introducing myself and a little bit about myself and what tonight sort of entails. So if you didn't know, my name is Ashley Sweeten and I am the foundation teacher here for health and physical education. This is not my first time sort of working with prep and foundation level, so I do have a little bit of knowledge in the area, as well as pre-kinder and kinder levels as well. We're also looking at exploring the content and achievement standards that are incorporated in the curriculum at a foundation level. So to put it quite simply, we're looking at what we're wanting the children to achieve by the end of their first year in foundation, and sort of how we're going to incorporate prior knowledge, where we're going to see their strengths sort of continue to grow, or areas for improvement continue to improve, and how we're going to do that and with what strategies, whilst achieving the curriculum standards. We're also looking at why health and physical education is fundamental at a foundation level, so why this is paramount and so important. This is broken up into a few key content descriptors. So the first one we're looking at is personal, social and community health, which broken down is children being able to identify personal strengths, as well as the teacher being able to identify their personal strengths. And what that may look like. So children might be able to tell you, I can run really fast, or I can throw really far, and that's what they feel that their strength is. And then also being able to acknowledge the areas where they may need to improve, as, oh, I'm not very good at hopping, or I'm not very good at skipping, and we're able to sort of structure our lessons around building up those skills and continuing to further the ones we've already got quite under the belt. We're also encouraging children to name parts of the body and how they're evolving. So that could be, oh, I'm feeling a lot taller, my legs are growing. I can run a lot faster, my legs are growing. Or my arms are getting a lot stronger so I can throw further. We're looking at those parts and how they're growing and how they're helping children within the health and physical education realm. We're also identifying and describing emotional regulation and responses, which if we're looking at my background in pre-kinder and kinder, it's something that we've touched quite highly on. And it's the ability to identify emotions in ourselves and in others and how to support that. So being upset can look like crying, or being angry can look like frustrated and very short-tempered. And we're acknowledging that in ourselves, and we're also acknowledging that in others. And we're also looking at play in both indoor and outdoor environments. So usually when we see play inside, we're seeing is it quite set up with a purpose by the teacher or educator. Where outside, when we see bush school and bush kinder programs, they're teaching more real life skills. So we're looking at how to start a fire, unstable rocks and trees, how to climb those, how to navigate that. So we're giving both exposure to both areas. Then we're going to look at the second sort of subheading, which is movement and physical activity broken up in two separate areas. So this one we're looking at locomotor and non-locomotor skills, which is our fundamental skills, so the ones that we need to get a basis and an understanding of, which is rolling, balancing, sliding, jogging, running, leaping, all those sort of areas, dodging, skipping, and moving the body through water safely, which we're very lucky enough to have a swim program here that we run. And also object control skills. So we're looking at how to control an object efficiently, that being bouncing, throwing, catching, kicking, striking, which we seem to have in sort of the netball, basketball, cricket, soccer, that sort of areas in the programs that we run. We're also looking at pedagogical approaches. What is it? And how does it benefit your child's learning? So pedagogy in education is the way in which teachers structure their lesson and how they deliver it to the children. So if we read here, pedagogy in education describes the carefully thought out process a teacher will use to teach their students, taking into account prior learning, classroom context and end goals. So we're looking at the end goal, their prior knowledge and how the classroom looks. So this class may be full of children who have had a lot of experience with outdoor play, a lot of tree climbing, balancing, swimming, but then we also might have a classroom that's never had any of that, and that becomes a major focus area. So that's our classroom context. Our end goal may be to get all of our children to be able to be confidently involved in that. So we're looking at individual knowledge, individual experience, and where we want to take that, and that begins the structure of the lesson. So that's pedagogy. The approaches that we're going to be used, which is the pedagogical approaches, is several options that will come up through the next slide. So our first one is called the WALT approach, and that stands for what are we learning today? So I use WALT as an engagement tool to start off the lesson. So it's a question proposed to the classroom where we can engage in open-ended questions and communication, so active participation within the lesson. And we talk about the outline and the purpose of that day's lesson. We are learning this because we want to achieve this. It is a very clear-cut goal. And it's an opportunity, a massive opportunity for consolidation. So we're visiting the intention and learning success criteria from the previous lesson. There is no point jumping straight into playing golf with prep children if they've never learned how to swing or aim or hand-eye coordination skills are not there. We need to make sure we are 100% set on the skills leading up to anything that has an end goal. So making sure everybody's on the same page. If we have a lesson where most children are understanding, but only a few are not, that allows us to move on, but then we can work individually with children who may need extra assistance. Our second area that we're going to be looking at is the WILF strategy. So what am I looking for as the teacher in this area? So WILF is similar to WALT in terms of consolidation, engaging the children within discussions. WILF allows children to understand exactly what I am the teacher am looking for in that lesson. We are having a clear objective. Clear objectives and intentional and explicit instructions are incredibly valuable for children with any learning difficulties. We see a lot of this with dyslexic children, which down the bottom, International Dyslexic Association outlines the importance of a teaching strategy, especially for children with learning difficulties such as dyslexia, being intentional. So we want to make sure that the aim of the day's class is clear and everybody knows what they're working towards. If we look at our last strategy, we're looking at this strength-based approach. And this approach is focusing on developing the actual lesson itself. So this is the progress and the programming that we do to make sure that we're supporting all children. So we're catering for individual needs while also aligning with curriculum and assessment. So we're looking at each individual child, the classroom as a whole, and how we're going to achieve the curriculum and the assessment process. Teachers are respecting and acknowledging each individual strength and areas for improvement of each child. And it allows us to plan, as we said before, while keeping the individual needs and abilities in mind. All of the strategies we've spoken about are aiming to support and continue to develop the skills that the children are bringing to the table when they initially step into the classroom. So using those basis areas to continue to support and develop. I want to thank everybody for coming today, and I hope we've covered a lot of array of different things, but any questions or concerns, feel free to stay back or to send me an email. Thank you.